Hi, this is Peggy from Clover Moon Designs. Today I'm going to show you guys how to form the body for a stump paper clay doll. I'm going to be using creative paper clay. And so what I've done is I've cut out a couple oval shapes out of some thick cardboard. And I like to weight them down with a couple of these decorative rocks because that's what I have on hand. So, and again, I have blue painter's tape. I don't have masking tape, imagine that. So all I do is just put a couple stones on there, and that will help hold the body down. And then I just lay a couple pieces of tape over the top, like this. And then just kind of press down on it to hold the rocks in place as I get it flipped over, and just fold the tape onto the cardboard just to hold it in place. And I'm going to put another piece across the top of that. So there's that part. And then I like to use magazine paper just because it's a lot cheaper than aluminum foil. But I'll show you what I do. So I just take a couple pieces of magazine paper to form the body. So there's 7. This base is, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it's probably about 2.5 inches or so. I have something to measure here with. This is about, it's about 3 inches by 2 inches. So you can see that. And then what I like to do with the paper is just start crumbling it up. And this doesn't have to be really perfect or anything. We're just forming the figure. And then we can add the head. So here's this. It sort of looks like that. And then what I do next, once I have a basic shape out of paper, just use some heavy-duty aluminum foil. Rip a piece of that off. And what I do is form the body again, a little bit inside of here. Just wrap that around. And this holds everything in place while I'm shaping the body. So, and you can see, I want to kind of keep the bottom of this about the width of this. Oh no, what did I do? About the width of this one, I'm sorry. So you can see I'm pressing down on this firmly, just to kind of get a shape. So that's basically what it looks like. And then I'll wrap that with blue painter's tape as well. If you have masking tape, you can use that, that's fine. And again, I just kind of lay it over the top and push down on it. Oops. I keep the stone part towards the paper. So I just pull that real tight together and wrap it, and then form it a little bit more again. And I found by using the magazine paper, you don't have to use as much aluminum foil then. This is a cheap way to do it, but it's still very effective. So then the next part I do is wrap the painter's tape around the bottom and cover part of the body too, all at once. You can see that. And I just fold it down, pushing firmly, so that forms the base. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just shaping the body right now, and we can always make corrections with the clay. So again, I'm overlapping that just a little bit. And then we want to cover all the aluminum foil. I have a little spot here that needs covered and one up there. So wrap this across the top. Push firmly down on that. And then one more little spot right here. And we'll wrap that. Okay. So there's the body part. And then for the head, I do the same thing. Take maybe 3 or 4 pieces, again, of magazine paper. Rip those out. And we'll form the head with this. And I like to double check to see, yeah, that head's going to be way too big. So maybe just 2. Since this is a smaller doll. Let me see, is that 2? Yeah. We'll just wrap that around. And let's go with 3. How about that? And I'm squeezing this pretty hard. That looks about right. So again, then I take aluminum foil, a small piece like this, and wrap the head in that. And I'm keeping this very tight. And while I'm forming this, I'm trying to keep in mind that the head shape should be an oval. So it's not quite exactly an oval. So what I'll do is just kind of squeeze the bottom of this a little bit. And then hopefully that shapes the oval. And let's try it back on her to see if that is indeed a good size. It looks good. And then we want to take a toothpick and I have this little tool. It comes in a clay kit, and I'm going to put her head just off to the side a little tiny bit. So there's that. And also we want to wrap the head in blue tape as well. those ends down in. And another piece, and overlapping. Okay, that looks good. And I just want to put another little piece right across the bottom here. Like that. And then I'll squeeze that all. One, to keep the shape, and two, just to keep everything tight inside of there. Okay, so now we have the head and the body shaped, and this will be the neck, the toothpick, and I want her head to sort of be at an angle, so I will push this through at a slight angle. That way I can get my toothpick right where I want it. So we'll put that in. And I just left about a finger and a thumb length between the head and the body. You can see that. It's a little loose right now, but that's okay. You want probably about half your toothpick in her head and half in the body, and then that length for the neck. Now, if you like your girls to have longer necks, you can also do that. Just maybe use something a little bit thicker. You can find dowel rods that are a little bit thicker. I imagine you could use some heavy-duty wire, anything like that, because the tape's going to actually hold it together until we get the clay on. So as you can see, I'm just wrapping this around her head and her neck. Now her neck will get thicker as we put more tape on here. And I'm using tape that's ripped a little bit, so it's not as wide. Okay, so there she is so far. I like to make the head really secure. I'm going to rip a couple pieces of tape off and just make them thin like that. Okay. And then just kind of break some pieces off of each strand. Well, you kind of wrap that in with her neck and up around her chin. Whoops. Okay. We're just trying to get this really secure. I can see in the back that we have no tape so far. So I'm going to wrap this one completely around. And then we'll take another one and sort of overlap that. And wrap that up around her face. You can see it's coming along quite nicely. Rip a couple more of these pieces of tape off and keep going around her neck as I lay it there, and then I kind of fold it down over her shoulders and back. And I'm always working to keep the shape as I'm building this. And again, we'll take a piece on her neck and up over her face like this. And we'll do that on all four sides. And couple more pieces here. I want to secure that one that's lifting a little bit. We'll wrap another one here. As I said, we're just forming something for the clay. It's a little body. I'm making a little body here. And lace them over this. Let's see. That feels kind of sturdy, but I'd really like to make that a little sturdier. See, it has a little bit of movement in it. I just like to make that a little sturdier. So again, I'm taking some more blue masking tape and just tearing that into strips. That masking tape is about, I don't know, I have the wider stuff because that's what I have, and it's 2 inches wide. I'm all about using what I have because I have so many things just from, you know, collecting craft supplies over the years, and not just that, but like home projects and different sorts of things. So instead of going out and buying new things, I just try to make things work that I already have. So, because God knows all of us crafters have, I don't want to say more things than we need, but others might think that. But we don't. We never have enough supplies, do we? Okay. It's a little bit better. And I'll lay one across her chin and her neck again. Just kind of wrap that up and around. And back here as well. Just going to lay it like that and kind of push it into her neck. Okay. Just go around a couple times with a couple more pieces just to make sure it's nice and secure. And her head's tipping back a little bit, if you can see that. But that's okay, because I think that's what gives them their own special look and their own special character, rather than trying to fight with it and get the head exactly perfectly right. This is who she wants to be. And I'm just going to let her be who she wants to be. I'm all about that. I see I have a little dent here, so I'm going to stick some more tape over that just to kind of smooth that out, that dent out a little bit. And just fold it down over the bottom like we did before. Wrap it around. I'm just going to take one more piece and put it across that part. I don't like the way that looks there. Okay, and I'm just pushing this tape down to make it secure. I think the head feels good. Everything's nice and tight. So there we have the body for our first doll. What I like to do next is cover that with gesso, and I use black gesso from I have this really big desk, and I have like 5 inches of space to work in, And I'm trying to locate my gesso. Right here it is. Okay, so I use golden black gesso. And I'm just going to cover this whole girl with it. You can start wherever you want, on the bottom, the head, wherever. I just like to cover it with this. Kind of seals everything together. You can push down on your tape as you brush this on. And then this will have to dry before we put the clay on. And I don't know what kind of a character she's going to be or what kind of a spirit she'll have, but I love finding that out as I create their little faces. They kind of bring their self to life. That's why I said I'm really not worried about her head tipping back, because that's how she wants to be. And we're just going to let her do her own thing. So cover the whole thing with your black gesso. You could use white gesso, I guess. It doesn't really matter, but I like to use black because then I can see when I'm starting to build with clay, if there's any black showing through, I know that I don't have it thick enough there. So that's, I guess all of it's the fun part. All of it really is. Let's see. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and stick them down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all Clover Moon Designs. So we'll let this dry, and we'll just let it dry right on here. And go ahead and make your little doll figure. We'll let this dry.